I've been driving there for 3 months.
Right here. It's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, natural aircon.
Natural aircon.
So just a short video today, but opportunistic one. What are we driving, Jason?
We're driving a Subaru Impreza version 2 WRX STi Type RA. Bit of a mouthful, but yeah. Bit of an old school vibe with this one.
It's definitely a mouthful. So is it true that it's the Colin McRae edition? It celebrates Colin McRae's WRC victory.
Yeah, celebrates the 1995 win. So this wasn't, I think, built early 1996. So basically, yeah, they got the Type RA, which they all came in white. Yeah, they were sold to mainly motorsport or rally teams to go rallying with in Group N. But yeah, they brought out 555 odd around that number, blue ones to look like Colin's car. So this is one of them.
That's a magic number, hey? 555.
That's it. Yeah, I think they may have skipped a couple of because you know, there's unlucky numbers in there from Japan. But yeah, not too many of these floating around.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see the blue. So I think most people know that kind of lighter, kind of brighter blue as the Subaru color. But actually, Colin McRae's cars were always this kind of blue, isn't it?
Yeah, from the very first years. So even from the legacy, the original 555 cars were a darker blue, and I think it was like 97 that they went to a lighter blue because they lost 555 as a sponsor. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the reason. But yeah, the darker blue. Especially when you start pushing a bit harder, it all kind of gets a bit more solid, which is good. Yeah, this one's riding on coilovers as well. My other one's riding on standard STi springs. This one feels way more responsive in the corners. Yeah, it takes the bumps really nicely as well.
Yeah, look at this Nardi steering wheel.
Yeah, fun fact, I think this is a very similar steering wheel to the 22B, so very, very sought after. But yeah, the early STIs came with them, which is pretty cool. Nice sunset drive, mate.
So you'll see some footage from outside, but these came with the gold Speedline wheels, 5-spoke, which is yeah, if you look at the Colin McRae rally videos, exactly what it looks like, really. And check out the tech for the 90s. There's a diff controller here.
Yeah, so kind of like the GI Yaris nowadays. That splits the torque to the front and the back wheel. So I think from full open it's like 60-40 split up to 50-50 full lock. And yeah, when you're going slow and you're on full lock, everything just bounces around, bunny hops around.
Yeah, these days we don't really get these really pure kind of rally homologation specials. So like when the GR Yaris came out, everyone lost their shit. But really, you know, it's cars like this that started all, isn't it?
Yeah, OG, man. Yeah, nothing beats Group A. I think just after Group B, they wanted to settle everything down. So they brought the power down and they said you have to use a more road-based car as a base. And yeah, I think within half a year, those Group A cars were already as quick as the Group B cars around different rallies, just because all yeah, so basically this car is essentially the base for a Group N spec rally car. All you'd have to do technically is chuck a roll cage in it and chuck a roll cage in it and put a fire extinguisher in. You're pretty much ready to go.
Man, when the boost kicks, whew, that's so old school. You forget, like, with all these like really linear modern turbo engines, where there is pretty much no lag and just boost all the way. Wow. Yeah, this is really exciting.
It's pretty violent in the way it delivers the power.
Yeah, I'm probably only like 50% throttle as well.
Yeah. The short gearbox as well. It's just, yeah, the acceleration's pretty brutal.
So that's a fourth gear pull. And wow. Puts it down. Do you know how much power this has?
Probably about 300 horse. Yeah. From stock it was about 275, but exhaust, some bits were already done in Japan. I'm pretty sure it's probably close to 300.
It's interesting because you know, one of my cars is the E46 M3, which is about 300, just a bit over 330 horsepower. But you know, like, you know, I just forget these really old school ways of delivery. Sorry.
Yeah, left.
Second gear, take off.
It's probably about 1200 kilos. It's super nimble. Yeah, the chassis is really nice, and with the coilovers I think it really makes a difference, because yeah, on the other car on the standard springs it does feel a lot softer.
Yeah.
Even though it takes the bumps probably better, but yeah, it does feel a lot softer in comparison. But yeah, you can take this around a corner. I mean, to be honest, the ride and the way I can control the car feels more similar to my MX-5.
Yeah.
Just that it's all under control. I feel like everything's within reach. I can, you know, take it to not the limit, but I can control it at whatever pace I'm taking on the road. So it's quite nice. Yeah, it just takes the bumps really nicely, to be honest.
That's another thing I really missed in modern cars, because like everything's so blocked out and dampened. You're really going at really rapid speeds, like silly speeds for the road before you start to have any fun. Like, we haven't really been speeding, like we're just going cruising along, and it's been loads of fun already, like on this short drive.
And to be honest, the big part of it is the exhaust as well. So this car's rocking a Group A replica back box and a straight through middle pipe, so getting a lot of that signature boxer burble. And I mean, before it was really nice to drive at speed, but when you hear this,
this is kind of like as if this road's made for this, isn't it?
well, that's the thing. Like, I've driven down these roads for a few years now, and I've always thought, you know, I wish I had my Rexy here, and so I'm really happy to finally get them, because yeah, they were made for roads like this. Just absolutely carved them up.
Oh wow, look at that, it just flows through here. As an Australian, I guess, you know, like, there were quite a few of these around Australia when I was growing up, at least. It was like the car that bank robbers took when they wanted to get away quickly.
That's it. Well, yeah, at the time, I think, yeah, the WRX was, you know, pushing out maybe not as much power as a V8 Commodore, but they were definitely quicker in a straight line.
Yeah.
And they were way more nimble as well. Like, the body control's better for that era. Got a couple of blind corners coming up. Yeah. Lots of undulations.
Okay.
Yeah, big right here. And then we've got a almost 90-degree left coming up. So braking now. Probably down into third. car, kind of like my MX-5 is, I suppose. It's more of an experience car. The ITBs doesn't add power, but it just adds that visceral kind of emotion to a drive. Whereas the V6 STi, I want to keep more as a bit of a usable car to get me around. But
yeah, and you haven't gone with the whole like super low stance. You know, you're keeping true to some of that rally heritage.
yeah,
It's more like a time, like rally kind of ride height,
that's it.
which is super nice. Like especially on like English B roads.
Yeah,
And also, I can just imagine you go on some pretty epic road trips in this, and you know, get to some pretty remote locations probably.
yeah. Well, we'll see. Hopefully. Hopefully. But yeah, talking about the speed lines, I was looking recently because for the tarmac stages, Colin's era of car, they were running quite often 18-inch speed lines.
Yep.
This car's running 17s, and they don't feel the wheel gap, feel the wheel arches as much. But I've got a feeling the Group A cars had a different setup in terms of body and a bit of suspension, so they could fill the arch without rubbing. I think 18s on this might actually rub, but it's on 17s at the moment, and yeah, it's not too bad.
I don't know, I feel like these older cars, especially Japanese cars where they're quite petite, like 17 suits it quite well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think performance-wise, yeah, the 17s work really well. But yeah, I'm gonna have to do some more background info on those 18s, see what the advantage was for the tarmac rally, why they ran them. Drivers and their navigators or co-drivers, to be honest, they all have their own system. All the numbers mean something. I think 1 is usually the most severe, to 10 often being the more open, I think. Bit of intercooler water spray here, just to cool everything down.
Manage the temps, mate.
Manage the temps. Perfect B-road weapon.
Just made for a foresty road like this.
Pleasure to heel and tow this car as well. I did learn to heel and tow in a GC8. I used to really fond memories actually when I first learned to drive manual in a GC8. I used to go out in the evenings to the national park near us back home in Sydney by myself.